Well, good afternoon, chat. A happy, spooktacular, scary skeleton day to all of you. I hope you're ready to go get that candy. There's nothing people love more than having grown men show up at their doorstep, dressed as the Joker, talking anarchist shit, and scaring their families. That's how we celebrate around here. That's how this sacred, blessed holiday should be. Going out there and doing naughty stuff. Not that I advocate for that. Oh, wait a minute. I've got a little stopwatch here on my desktop. It tells me I've been talking for a whole 12 seconds. I better stop it right now. Run an advertisement. That's what Seb Gorka does. And I learn from the best. Sadly, I don't have the sponsorship that powerhouse of a presenter has. I don't have old people pillows or Metamucil. I don't have a Life Alert commercial ready to go. How am I going to compete with the man himself, Mr. Gorka? Maybe I could get in on this. If I can't run ads like him, maybe I can create the ads for him. Hear me out, Seb. Here's my business pitch to you. There are a lot of lonely men out there, especially at Conservative Inc., especially men like you, Seb. And they need some primo fucking pussy. There are also a lot of fat bitches. A lot of fat bitches nobody wants to fuck. So here's my idea. We go for those big, beautiful women, Seb. We call it... I'm sorry. This is very unprofessional. Let me... There we go. I didn't take my Mucilex. I didn't get my order yet, Seb. We call it Gorka's Orcas. I'm talking conservative cunt. If you want to win over the incels, if you want them to stop harassing you on your show, you got to give them some pussy. Some big, fat pussy. Come on down to Gorka's Orcas. First 50 callers get some primo ass. Now, I know, much like me, chat, you probably love a good shit show. I'm a huge fan of it. Anywhere it pops up in any community that exists on the internet. In fact, today, I was scheduled to only do the Finders stream. That's going to be later on tonight. But I've watched now for 3 fucking days as one man, one singular entity, has created a hurricane of ass pain, creating a trail of platinum mad motherfuckers behind him. And it just grows exponentially every single day. How is that possible? How can one little guy with a knife do it? I don't fucking know. But we're going to try to piece together the mystery. Because this stream, this is Nick versus the world. I'm not even being... That's not even hyperbole. It's half the internet wants to destroy him now. Because he's upset them so very much. Oh, Nick, how dare you? How dare you laugh at us? How dare you ask questions? How dare you don't take us seriously? He needs to be destroyed. Absolutely driven off the internet. That's what I've been reading. All the experts out there, all the big talking heads, the political pundits, the big money guys from DC seem to want Nick, Mr. Nick Fuentes, destroyed. How did he do it? How did he accomplish such a feat? How do you piss off half the internet so quickly? Quite literally, 3 days. 3 days, this blessed little man has pissed off a whole fucking host of people. So I put together just a little interim show before the Finder stream later tonight. That's at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. So we've got a nice chunk of time here to try to piece together my best attempt at a chronology. I don't really care. I just want to laugh at fucking retards. And we're going to laugh at a lot of fucking retards today. Oh, I've got just gaggles of fucking retards. But we need a better background. Don't get me wrong. The Apostle, a man that raises people from the dead as a hobby and builds wooden helicopters, that's pretty fucking extraordinary. But it doesn't fit with our theme. So let me change the background. Let's make it something more appropriate. Something that reflects what's been going on for the past 3 fucking days. So where does our story begin? If we were trying to Hollywood this up, if we're writing a script to mail it off to Mr. Sheckelstein off at Paramount, how are we going to tell this fucking tale? What's our opening? We need to draw the audience in. How did our boy here get into a kerfuffle with all these people? Well, I think we can start it back, maybe at the very beginning of this month, the end of last month, when a little article popped up on a few different outlets Turning Point USA brand ambassador dumped after photo with white nationalists and anti-Semite surfaces. Oh, Carlin Becker. Tell me more. I need to know. Who are these horrific white nationalist anti-Semites? Who are you talking about? This weekend, right-wing personalities assembled in Florida for a debate between white nationalist and anti-Semitic podcaster Nicholas Fuentes and right-wing operative Jacob Wool. Afterwards, many in attendance joined for a dinner which St. Clair also attended. She later told Right Wing Watch that she did not attend the controversial event, but was present for a diverse dinner. Well, there you go. Diversity is our strength. I've heard that talking point from many people, so it has to be right. Why would this young lady be getting into trouble for being for attending such a diverse event? Especially with white nationalist anti-Semitic podcaster Nicholas Fuentes. Oh, Turning Point USA, TP USA. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, that might be an organization that's seemingly fucking outraged currently right now. By the way, nice name choice, nice naming convention. TP USA. TP USA. Why would you call yourself TP USA? Is it just the amount of shit you need to clean up? I mean, I know when Kirk gets up on stage, all I can smell is bullshit in the air. Maybe you need enough toilet paper to wrap that fucking turd up. Sell it to the American people. Well, they had a little bit of a run-in. A young lady was fired for associating with this horrific man. This man with a knife. Now, I don't know if you know a lot about Nick Fuentes or his audience. They called themselves the Knickers. That's N-I-C-K-E-R. Relax, YouTube. I'm not saying the bad N-word. I'm just calling them the Knickers, which is what he calls them, which is what they call themselves. Well, they decided to attend events hosted by TP USA. They wanted to ask some questions, just being good boys. Being good boys, curious about the future of the country, about their political party and the political spectrum on the side they lean. Wanted to get some straight answers from some straight shooters. So they went to TP USA events, started asking some questions. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but even though the Knickers only made up 13% of the audience, they asked almost more than 50% of the questions. I think Kirk was quoted as saying, "Those goddamn Knickers, take the mic away from them. Don't let this minority co-opt our event. There are gay people that want to speak here. This is Turning Point USA. We installed glory holes in the bathroom. See how progressive we are." Well, they got a chance to go to the mic. Let's take a look at some of these interactions. I think this is a good build-up to where this story ends up. We've got that initial introduction start of the month, branding him a white nationalist, anti-Semitic podcaster, firing a lady for even being associated with him. Now they're holding an event and doing a Q&A session. People are starting to sneak in. Some Knickers and some Gripers and other associated deplorables. And so they got to the mic. All clean cut, approachable people. Didn't really swear or anything. They weren't screaming out obscenities. Just had some questions. Let's see how they dealt with those questions.
Hello. So my name is Patrick Casey. I'm an American nationalist and America First patriot. And thanks, guys. So, and despite all of that, despite my ardent support for the president and his policies, I was actually kicked out of CPAC earlier this year.
But I didn't kick you out of this event.
No, and I'm not going to blame you.
Just making sure.
Yeah, you're very defensive here. I get that. As was my good friend Nicholas Fuentes, whom I believe you were just discussing up there. But look, I'm not going to blame you for that.
I just want to make sure.
I've got a question here.
Is that the troll that keeps tweeting about me?
He's not a troll. He's a very intelligent guy who has a lot to say. He's somewhat of a troll, but
he seems to be getting a lot of you guys to say stuff for him tonight, so...
I don't debate trolls.
I think we've been debating them all night.
Right, so I'm just citing CPAC's decision to remove American nationalists from their conference. I'm not blaming you for that. I'm moving it into something.
I don't run
I'm
CPAC
saying,
either.
Right, and I just said that I'm not blaming you. I've said that 3 times. So, but you do run TPUSA, and TPUSA did remove its relationship with Ashley St. Clair, who all she really did was take a picture with Nick Fuentes. She was in the same room. So my question to you, Charlie, is as someone who, purports to be pro-debate, free speech, and, the exchange of ideas, do you support blackballing people based on having controversial opinions or being even in the same room when a photograph is taken with someone who has controversial opinions? And the second part of that question is, if the answer is no, will you debate me on immigration, identity, and demographics?
Well, so, first of all, I mean this respectfully. I have no idea who you are. The other thing, that was a private matter. Ashley's a good person. We handled it privately. That's all I'm going to say about that. And finally, I just want to make a broader statement. I want to make a broader statement. My stance on Israel, I'm not going to back away on it. My stance on immigration is a mainstream position. And I think it's really incredible because the amount of people that have been here tonight that have shown hatred towards Rob, that have been shown hatred towards his ideas is pretty incredible. And so I really don't know who you are, and the fact you're getting as upset as you are.
Hey, you guys, who likes Cardi B?
Hey, who here likes rap music? I know it has nothing to do with the question asked, but I love me some rap music. You like rap music? A little Jay-Z, some Beyonce? Yes, Queen Slay, you gonna shake your head for me? I love how they don't answer any of the questions asked. I love how somebody asks him a direct and straightforward question. The first thing you hear is Kirk say, I love Israel. And then his black sidekick, who here likes Cardi B? Ooh, we're all hip, right? Look, I'm the gay black guy. I love me Cardi B. Do you guys like Cardi B? Hey, did you get some of Seb Gorka's Metamucil? Because if you did, we're going to have the energy to dance all night in this fucking place. We're pretty crazy here at TPUSA. So they don't seem outrageous. I've watched some of these questions. None of this struck me as outrageous. Let's listen to a few more clips. Get a feel for some of the questions that were being asked.
What a racist question that was. So I got a quick and fun, lighthearted question for you, Charlie. So I know you gave a speech in Jerusalem earlier this year.
Yes, I did.
Were there any awesome, fun dance parties that you guys had afterwards? Because I heard that Israelis are some of the best dancers in the world. If you guys don't believe me, just Google dancing Israelis. It's insane how good their dance moves are. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Shut it the fuck down right now. You can't ask that question? Are you insane? That's a no-no question. Who told you? Dancing Israelis. Holy shit, somebody get the mic off that guy. I think Kirk might have actually shit his depends. I think he might have made a stinky up on stage when that question came his way. By the way, excellent. You can take a look at the Google Trends. Just straight through to the moon. Right up and out the sky. It's like a fucking rocket into the night. Dancing Israelis. Oh, no. That is not a question we want here. Oh, they weren't stopping there. They were asking all sorts of questions they don't want there. If dancing Israelis made them uncomfortable, the USS Liberty surely did.
My question is for Charlie Kirk. Why do you deny the attack on the USS Liberty, which is well documented by both U.S. and Israeli sources, in which resulted in the death and injuries of over 200 Americans?
I deny that it was a deliberate attack by the Israeli government. That's what I deny.
Oh no, this is turning out disastrous. You can't ask these questions. Why? Who are these fucking people coming up here asking me about the goddamn Liberty?
So I have a question. So from America First perspective, why do we give $3.8 billion to Israel, which is more aid than we've given to Africa, more aid than we've given to South America, and more aid than we've given to the Caribbean combined, which is home to 1 billion poor people, especially when they deliberately attacked the USS Liberty in the 1970s?
That is incorrect. Do not peddle conspiracy theories in our event. That is not acceptable. Do not say that.
Okay, Dean Rusk disagrees with you, and he was the Secretary of State at the time, but that's fine.
I love how outraged he was by that. He was so fucking upset. Don't you dare ask that question here. He sounded just like Greta. Oh, this is how I pictured him on stage if they had panned the camera over.
How dare you?
Oh my God, I'm so upset. Decrease your carbon footprint. Eat bugs. How could you bring up the USS Liberty? Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the USS Liberty, it's a fantastic subject to bring up. If you want to see If you want to get a feel for the room, just drop that name, USS Liberty. It's a very, very easy to pick up on. Doesn't matter the conversation. Doesn't matter what the debate's about. Just throw it on out there. You'll be fucking amazed at some of the responses you get. Even predating the TPUSA college campus tour, or whatever the fuck this is. Even predating that. In fact, here's an example, again, of just asking the question about the USS Liberty from 2 years ago, starring our boy, Nick the Knife.
Have you guys ever heard of Billy the Anti-Bully?
No.
No. Okay. Well, he's a friend of the show, but he's asking a question here.
Yeah.
Do you believe Israel is responsible for their attack on the USS Liberty, as in it wasn't a misunderstanding but a deliberate act during wartime?
I do believe that.
Of course you do, but no, I don't.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks, Billy, for yeah. Thanks, Billy.
There's another example where, and that I don't usually use that one because, they still haven't declassified all the intelligence on that one. And you got to wonder why.
Yeah, exactly. You wonder why, because that's going to prove you right.
Yeah.
So you can make
reference
why do
they
to
have
things.
Anything to hide?
You can make reference to things that you don't know the answer to.
Well, no, that's why I don't use that one, because that one.
Yeah, you said I don't use it.
Because we have.
Yeah, I love how you keep doing that. You keep saying, I'm not going to use it. Then you use it and say, this is why I don't use it.
I didn't, look, the commenter brought that one up. The reason that I don't come out right out of the gate with that one is because we don't have all the intelligence, even though I believe that Israel did do it. I mean, there's so much other evidence where we are beyond a shadow of a doubt certain that Israel was the culprit. You can look at the Levant affair.
The culprit? They admitted to it.
Yes.
They said they were sorry about it, that it was during a war. Oh, yes, they bombed a U.S. ship deliberately for no
apparent reason. Had a U.S. flag flying at it. No, not for no apparent reason.
Yes, because you could see a flag from a fighter.
Because it was a, you can. It was and it was one of the ships. Hey,
have you ever been on a plane? Are you that retarded that you can see a flag?
I'd like to hear Nick on what evidence he has, and then the answer by Halsey.
Here's why. Because the Israelis were conducting a massacre, and that was a U.S. spy ship, and the Israelis didn't want us to know. Oh, it was for no reason. Why would they do that? Because the U.S. might have been privy to the atrocities that the Israelis were committing, the war crimes they were committing. You say, oh, well, they didn't know. This was an American ship. This was not an Egyptian ship. They have different ships, and it had an American flag flying it. You can ask the sailors who were on the ship that day. Many of them testify that it would have been impossible for the Israelis not to know. And these were people that were on the boat. You say, Nick, have you ever been in a plane? Why don't you ask the people that were there that day when they were under siege for hours and they had an American flag flying on there? It was an American ship, and they were telling them it was an American ship, and they blew it up anyway, and there's 130 lives. And you know what? I think there's probably a better case that the Israelis deliberately blew up that ship than a lot of other atrocities that happened in the past. And, people love to say, oh, well, the USS Liberty, the Levant affair, that was so long ago. Well, we're still paying for a lot of the atrocities that were hypothetically committed at other times. So I think it's very rich. I think the hypocrisy is very rich, my guy.
Oh, I think our friend Halsey there got a little upset by that. If you couldn't tell, Halsey, he's Jewish. If you couldn't tell from the kvetching going on the moment the name USS Liberty was brought up. Yeah, it's a fun little game. Give it a shot sometime. Have some fun with that. Now, TPS USA, it seemed like no matter what the question was, with the presenters on stage, no matter what they were asked, you could ask them anything. And Kirk's response was, I love Israel. I love Israel. That was his blanket response for anything. What's the weather like today? I love Israel. Do you want some Subway sandwiches? I love Israel. This band is quite fond of it, actually. Here's a real clear-cut example of what I'm talking about.
How does anal sex help us win the culture war?
I get a lot of questions about Israel in the last week. I will not apologize for my defense of our greatest ally in the Middle East.
Now, I disagree, I think, with the Knicker Nation. I think ass fucking is the way to conservative values. I think that's the trick, really. I think that's how you get Heartland America to vote for you. You put on a dress, get on your knees and you invite Middle America onto your glory hole and you suck them off for freedom. Anal sex is the way to the ballot box victory in 2020. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. Now, when Kirk wasn't up there telling everybody how much he loved Israel, how Israel was just the bestest thing that's ever existed, and getting highly offended at any questions that were asked of him from all those goddamn knickers in the audience, he was lying through his fucking teeth. He was lying about verifiable things. How embarrassing. How could you go on stage and have somebody quote you verbatim and then lie and say you never said that when there are fucking video clips out there showing you saying exactly that?
My question is for Charlie. Charlie, I wanted to ask you about you trying to get into West Point. You said that you applied to West Point, but they gave your place to an applicant of a different gender and persuasion. I know the test scores and I knew the qualifications. She was less qualified. So my question is, if they were of a different gender, do you know what gender they were?
I never said that. That's fake news. Thanks for being here tonight. Never said that. Thank you for being there tonight. I eventually lost my spot out to what I felt was a far less qualified applicant in my district that was of a different gender and a different persuasion. You could take it any way you want, but I knew the test scores, I knew the qualifications. I was kind of got the short end of the stick. But
an applicant of a different gender and persuasion?
A different gender and a different, persuasion. That's fake news. Never said that.
I know the test scores and I knew the qualifications.
I knew the test scores, I knew the qualifications. That's fake news. Never said that.
Oh, just embarrassing. Now, when they weren't out there, asking questions, when Nick wasn't trying to get some responses to the important questions, like anal lovin' from our boy up there. I think it's because he's Catholic and they believe so much in charity. I wouldn't know. I'm a fucking heathen. But of those Catholic boys, they believe in charity. And Nick, being a good Catholic boy, a good Christian, tried helping out, showed up at the events, worked some of their booths, just trying to do what he could to spread the word, be positive. Show up, maybe ask a few questions himself. Apparently that was the wrong approach because he had security called on him. Just tried to enter Charlie Kirk's event at Politicon, and I was surrounded by probably a dozen police officers who told me I wasn't allowed to enter the event. No justification given. Incredible. We'll post the video below momentarily. And he's not joking. He was accosted by a group of people. Now, I know, this is a shocking photo. They need at least fucking, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 if you count the guy in the very back. 6 people to stop him from asking a question. Oh, what is going on? What is Kirk so fucking afraid of? I listen to these questions and they may make people a little bit uncomfortable. But I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with questioning foreign aid or diplomatic ties with a nation that might not be in the best interest of your people. Raising these questions doesn't by default make you an anti-Semite, nor does it make you un-American. It makes you American. You want to know where the fucking money's going. You want to know what's going on. Got a few questions about these people that you seem to love so much, Kirk. Just want you to give me a straightforward answer, but Kirk doesn't like that. He gets a little nervous when you start asking those questions. He and his cabal, his cohorts, get very upset when you ask those questions. So upset that they put their own plants in the audience. There was a good, I'd say, 20 people lined up to ask more questions when they got right near the end of the show. They ended up cutting somebody off and inserting one of their own employees to ask the very last question of the night because he was getting his ass hammered so he'd like, given the whole anal sex is the way to win the heartland political strategy they seem to employ. But it inserted a plan. So you can't ask questions. You can't show up and ask questions. And if you're Nick Fuentes, you're going to get hauled out by fucking security. Banned from an event. Not allowed to have your voice heard, which is really strange. I've heard now for the last 2 years, conservatives talk at length. And I think most people have observed this firsthand. That there is censorship from big tech against conservatives on the internet. We've seen people completely deplatformed, delegitimized, had their ability to make money taken away, had their ability to run a business taken away, had their platforms taken away, had their services and websites taken away, driven into the corners of the internet. And conservatives have noticed this, and they've seen it happen, and it's happened to some of them. That's why groups like Project Veritas are praised for uncovering this sort of censorship that seems to be running rampant. And yet here we are at an event run by, quote-unquote conservatives who don't like what you have to say, will have you accosted by security and pulled out. I know it's a private event. They can run it how they want to. I just find it funny that they'll bitch about it, a private company doing it to them, and then turn around and do it to somebody else. Maybe live by the standards you preach. I don't know. Doesn't seem to be so high-handed to expect that of you. If Nick Fuentes had, painted a Star of David on his forehead, would you have let him stay? Would he have been allowed to ask his fucking questions? Would that have been appropriate? Would that have been possible? I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. But our story doesn't end here. I mean, that's really just the beginning of it. So you've got these events taking place. You've got people asking questions. Nick Fuentes is getting banned from these events. Security is taking him away. Charlie Kirk getting very upset about what's going on. And, as I started to pay attention to this, the first thing I noticed were certain people from the skeptic side of the internet who were, associated with Turning Point USA, giving speeches about how conservatives aren't censored. Censorship doesn't exist. That's a fucking bizarre thing to have a conference on and to be allowed to speak on at these events. But nonetheless, there's Hunter Avalon saying exactly that.
There are many more layers to this discussion about big tech censorship. Conservatives are not being censored online the way big conservative names have claimed. These big conservatives encouraging you to play the victim and blame the fact that you're a conservative for any difficulties are lying to you because they only care about fame and money. I'm against playing the victim, and far too often conservatives are quick to play victim anytime their social media accounts fluctuate. The topic of censorship is a controversial one, and I think there is certainly big tech bias against conservative voices on specific social media platforms. But this is a nuanced discussion that can't be summed up as easily as, yes, conservatives are being censored online.
Now, it didn't end there. Hunter decided to engage, I suppose, with Nick. Maybe there's more history there. I don't know. I haven't really been following it. But I did hear those statements. And then he started to be mocked for them and didn't take too kindly to it. Took to Instagram, which I guess is his platform of preference, to start throwing a little bit of shade. Laugh my ass off. A bunch of Nick Fuentes' alt-right cuck friends are currently crying their little eyes out over the fact I think conservative censorship is an overblown victim mentality. Shouldn't you guys be working through your emotional issues after your wife's ditched you for black guys? And anybody else that said, hey, Hunter, you kind of sound fucking stupid, he wasn't too thrilled with that either. Funny how conservatives are just like the SJWs. 1 ounce of disagreement and they completely turn on you. What a dumb boomer Mark Dice is. You're an embarrassment to conservatism. You clearly don't want millennials like me to be heard because you know I'm about to challenge your victim mentality. Even went so far as to make videos about this. New video, link in bio. This one has a lot of triggered simps in the comment section who love facts over feelings until the facts hurt their feelings. Now, we could play Hunter's video, but I don't want to. Just look for the one with all the downvotes. That's how you know you've arrived there. But after getting into a slap fight with Nick Fuentes, while at the same time refusing to debate him, Hunter is now dragged in Project Veritas, calling them basically frauds, and saying that there is no Silicon Valley censorship of conservatives on a massive scale, and that if you get kicked off a platform, it has really pretty much nothing to do with your politics. At least that's the approach I imagine he's taking. He was going to release that video yesterday, and he never did. So you've got the Turning Point stuff going on. All of a sudden, here's Hunter saying censorship isn't real, getting into a fight with Fuentes. He's also giving speeches at Turning Point USA. But here's where it got fucking weird. Here's where I really started paying attention. Because in the span of an hour, You had all these talking heads suddenly coming out with the exact same talking point, using the same video clips, one after the other, after the other, after the other. We're going to take a look at some of them. These aren't all of them, but it should give you a good idea of what I'm talking about. This is how mad Turning Point USA got. This is how fucking upset these punks got, that they basically called in their friends. Kirk was getting bullied so hard by people asking uncomfortable questions and having a dude laugh at him on DLive and YouTube that he had to basically call everybody he could think of to make the big bad bully go away. Those fucking knickers need to be gotten good. So he, I don't know, I'm imagining he's on the bat phone or whatever the equivalent he has is. And he starts calling people up, and this is what we get. This is what it looks like. Here's Nick Fuentes denying that the Holocaust happened. Him and his followers are the scum of the earth, and their bad faith anti-Semitic attack should be shot down by the entire conservative movement. That's from Caleb. But Caleb wasn't the only one. Here's one from Adam. Nick Fuentes publicly denies the Holocaust. Hashtag anti-Semitism. In case you couldn't connect the dots, I think maybe he thinks you're a fucking retard. Here's one from Siraj. Just white nationalist and alt-right darling Nick Fuentes saying that he wants CNN reporters to be arrested and deported or hanged. And then, of course, we can't forget our boy Ian Miles Chong. I'm told that Nick Fuentes isn't an anti-Semite or a racist. Holocaust denial isn't obvious enough for some people, apparently. I hate giving people like this any sort of exposure, but the proliferation of these ideas can only thrive in the dark. In fact, he double-dipped on this. He wanted 2 scoops. 2 scoops of ass hurt. Does anyone buy the lie that Nick Fuentes isn't an unhinged fascist and white supremacist? Here he is, advocating for a violent revolution of the United States government by a fascist like Mussolini, which I'm sure is how he sees himself. Anybody unfamiliar with Mr. Chong here? I guess you haven't had a chance to encounter him yet. Count yourself lucky that your dog hasn't been flashbanged to death. Now, this is a reporter who got so mad at a bumbling Canadian, he basically tried to have him swatted. There are audio logs of this, of him filing police reports telling the police that Andy Worski is high on meth and has a gun, and that maybe he's dangerous to other people and himself. All because he got into a little slap fight with somebody on the internet. That's the caliber of person taking shots at Nick Fuentes right now. Other people. We've got Ron here. If it means ruining Fuentes, I'm all for it. And if there's one thing Ron knows real good about, it's ruination. Just look at his fucking political career. 10% of the votes. What a winner. I want to ruin Nick Fuentes right after I get my ass handed to me by a black lady named Karen Bass. I hope Nick's in fucking witness protection right now. I don't know if he can handle the heat that Ron Basselin is bringing. We've also got Jim here. Very disturbing. Nick Fuentes and his groypers infiltrated the TPUSA event last night and bashed gays and Jews. Here's a video of it. That's an article that's up right now on the Gateway Pundit. Very disturbing, as you can see. Talking about Kirk and TPUSA and how they were very upset about the uncomfortable questions. And this article, of course, has to link to more articles. Gripers, TPUSA, and Nicholas Fuentes. If anything, they used a fantastic picture for it. Very high energy. Makes him look like he's leading a fucking cult of obese men that have painted themselves green. Always a fearsome message to send your opponents. They're going to hop on their rascal scooters and run you over. Oh. But those weren't the only people. They were fucking furious. Just absolutely fucking furious with Nick. No. Of course, we can't forget Seb Gorka. Here are a few tweets from him. Nick Fuentes is a loser. And then, of course, he shills his fucking book. Read The War for America's Soul. He gives you a link to his Amazon. Probably the most surprising tweet from him, and one I found disgusting, especially since it was advocated for by all these other people once he had put it up. James Wood was forced off Twitter for being an American patriot. Nick Fuentes is a Holocaust-denying scumbag, and Jack gave him verified status. No human intervention, right? So, these people are so fucking angry right now at Nick Fuentes. Again, what did he do? I'm curious, what did he do to draw this kind of ire from these fucking faggots? What did he do that made them so goddamn angry? He had some people ask some questions, uncomfortable questions they didn't like. And within the span of a day or two, you've got a whole bunch of them trying to label and paint him any way they can, writing articles about him, sharing articles about him, and then tweeting at fucking people at Twitter, tweeting at the owner of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, trying to get him banned. That's what it fucking is. Seb Gorka is trying to get him deplatformed. And he got 2,500 fucking retweets. 2,500 fucking sellouts. Who will probably bitch and piss and moan when one of their guys gets taken down, but will happily, join in and try to get other people deplatformed. Because I guess they're in the right. Because Nick Fuentes asked about the USS Liberty, we need to get rid of him? Seb Gorka, you bumbling fuck. Now, Seb, he wasn't even just satisfied with that. He had to keep it going. And how did he keep it going? He kept it going on his fucking show. This is a guy that has a national radio show. And for 3 solid hours yesterday, he pissed and moaned about Nick Fuentes. Now, he says he has an outreach of 2 million people. 2 million people that he broadcast to. Who probably didn't know who the fuck Nick Fuentes was in the first place. But now they do. So Seb, just to give you a taste of how he handled it, as people laughed at his ass on YouTube.
Nick J. Fuentes is disgusting. Disgusting.
He is disgusting. Ugh, disgusting.
Do something a little bit different now. I'm going to play an audio cut we've already played. It's from a Holocaust-denying anti-Semite called Nick J. Fuentes, who is reprehensible and should be shunned. Not censored, shunned, especially by Jack Dorsey. Why does he have a blue tick mark after he denies the Holocaust?
That's not an edit by me, by the way. I like to fuck with video clips. It's fun for me sometimes, especially when I post on various social media platforms. But Seb Gorka got so mad, he got so fucking angry, that he actually put up the title, Nick Fuentes is a grifter and an anti-Semite! Exclamation point. You got to really put some oomph behind those accusations. Talking about how he needs to be shunned, and how dare he be allowed on Twitter. This guy is openly calling for somebody to be deplatformed because he doesn't like what he's saying. Oh, the mean words hurt you, did they? You don't like the uncomfortable questions? Need to get rid of these people, do we? You can see how well this approach worked for him yesterday on his shitty fucking podcast.
Hit the like button. Show those anti-Semites that belong to Nick Fuentes' cult that we don't agree with them and we hate their ideology. Hit the like button.
He was begging people, on his fucking knees begging people, telling radio listeners to go to this YouTube video and give him thumbs up because he was being bullied non-stop in the chat. Non-stop for 3 hours people were shit-talking him. He got so mind-fucked over this that you can watch the live broadcast of this, the recording, and he's always looking at his phone. His face is always cast downward at his fucking phone as he's reading all the mean comments that are coming in. It got to the point where I'll show you what happened when he tried to take callers.
Line 5, Jack, welcome to America First.
Shout out to the Groy person, Nick Fuentes. Watch America First.
Drop the guy. Let's go to line 3. See, this is the level of their sophistication. Shut up. Watch Nick Fuentes.
Oh, there's more of it. Here's another example.
So let's go back to our caller. I'm going to ask you a question now. That was Nick J. Fuentes using a cookie analogy that he called an analogy, saying it was impossible that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust. I find that reprehensible and disgusting, and that's why I think he shouldn't have a blue check on Twitter. Do you defend his denial of the Holocaust?
Absolutely. Denying the Holocaust.
Okay, drop him. He's a racist and an anti-Semite.
So that's just a taste, really, of the events that have happened that transpired over the last 3 days. Nick Fuentes and some other people, associated, not associated, people that thought maybe it was funny, decide to go to an event and ask some questions that the people at the event don't particularly like. Nothing super offensive, just a bit uncomfortable. They get so mad that they basically create a black PR campaign to destroy Nick Fuentes. That's what's going on right now. I'm not going to fluff it up and make it sound nicer than it is. They're trying to ruin him. And they're not joking. They're going to pursue ruining him to the best of their abilities. They want him driven off platforms. They want him taken off of YouTube. They want him taken off of Twitter. They'll go after any venue he can make money on, any place that he can get an audience at. They're going to declare war on it. Fuck people like this. These hypersensitive cunts who are so upset that somebody might laugh at them, might say a mean comment, might have a little bit of a giggle at their expense, might ask an uncomfortable question, might disagree with their political principles and the pillars of their platform, that they'd show up at an event and ask some fucking questions. Nick Fuentes is somebody that is, I guess, so toxic that you can't even have your photograph taken with him, because if you do, you're going to get fired. And that's not something that's new. That's some bullshit that I've been seeing for a long time. You know, I've noticed a lot of people, especially the ones that lean right, have this idea that, oh, no, that guy's based. You can't say anything about that guy. He's so based, my dude. He's red-pilling people at an entry level and shit, man. He's so based. One example would be Jordan Peterson. Oh, my God, the doctor. For like 2 years now. Oh, my God, the doctor. He's so fucking based. On and on about Jordan Peterson. What happened when Jordan Peterson was going to an event? A free speech event. And I believe it was it Faith Goldie that was going to be on the event with them. Did an interview with a group of people that Jordan Peterson and others didn't like because they had some white nationalist talking points. And so they blacklisted her. She wasn't the one expressing those viewpoints. They got rid of her just because she was in the same room with them. That's the fucking mentality that's been running rampant now for about 2 or 3 years. And Turning Point USA strikes me as no different, because they're doing the same fucking shit right now that Peterson was doing back then. If you associate with this guy, you're done. You're not coming to our events. You're not coming to do speaking tours. You're not going to work for us. You're not going to volunteer for us. And in the meantime, while we've blacklisted you, we're going to destroy this guy because he asked some uncomfortable questions. So Seb Gorka's going to go out there and cry soy and try to get somebody banned by begging Jack to do it. He actually said, how could he have a blue check mark? He denied the Holocaust. I didn't know getting a fucking blue check mark on Twitter required you to say, tick a box that said, yes, the Holocaust happened. Yes, the Holocaust happened. Give me my blue check mark. I forgot that was a fucking criteria on the Twitter platform for getting verified there. Last I checked, the fucking blue check mark just meant you were who you were saying you were. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. But Gorka wants that check mark taken away. Gorka wants him taken off the platform. These other fucking fake conservatives, these other hypocritical fucks that try to say they're champions of free speech, they're not. Free speech, when you advocate for it, you're not advocating for the speech you agree with. You're pretty much advocating for the shit that you don't like. That's the reality of it. If you want to go out there and say you're a free speech guy, you better get prepared for the person that's going to use that as a defense to say shit you find heinous. That's just the reality. So stop using it as a talking point to make a few fucking dollars at your events. You're not free speech advocates. You're fucking con artists. You're snake oil salesmen. You're bamboozlers. You go up there and you tell them something, but it's not the truth. It's just that put asses in seats and make a few bucks. That's all it is. And when it comes to it, when it's time to put up or shut up, well, they want shit shut down. They want Nick Fuentes gone. Now, I don't even look at this as a political thing. I've been watching this because I find it entertaining. Because one dude and a group of people that associate with him, watch his show, whatever, have made these people so angry they're willing to go to those lengths and be so blatant and open about it. They have no problem advocating for this shit. And then they pretend they have the moral high ground. They pretend that this is the good and virtuous way to go about things. Let's see what happens as 2020 approaches. Because here's the fucking reality. For this particular group of conservatives, I've heard them called Conservative Inc., neocons, conservatives, whatever you want to brand them. Social media, the tech companies that run all these fucking platforms that you guys use, that we all use, hate Donald Trump. They fucked up in 2016. There are internal documents and memos and meetings and video and audio that exist where they admit that, and they are never going to let him get elected again. They're going to do everything they can to make sure that doesn't fucking happen. And so part of that is going to be banning and getting rid of anybody that has any kind of vocal outreach, anybody that can get an audience, anybody can motivate some fucking people to go out and vote. That's why we've been seeing the last year all these people getting fucking taken out. That's why Alex Jones and everybody else is just getting thrown to the fucking wind. Because they're not going to let 2016 happen again. And if you think you're safe, you're out of your fucking mind. I don't care how milquetoast and leave it to beaver your bullshit is. It's still too much for them. And when they've hacked away at everything else, they're coming for you. And don't expect anybody to lift a fucking finger for you. Don't expect anybody to rally behind you. Because they're going to look at the shit that you did to a guy like Nick Fuentes and they're going to say, fuck you. You got hoisted by your own petard and you fucking deserved it. It was nothing but a sweet little lie. You're the Bethesda of politics. Full of shit. Nobody believes you. 3 days of this. 3 days of this. And they're still mad. They're still pissed off. They still want this guy dead. They want his shit taken away. They want him purged from the internet. How hypersensitive are you fucks? You'd better hope. Let me just pray to God. Especially this brand of conservative. You better pray to fucking God that no left-wingers are watching this take place. Because if they see how easy it is to make you lose your fucking mind, they're going to run your ass into the ground. You should be thanking God Almighty they're incompetent. Because if they were paying attention to this and found out all it took to make you screech like a fucking harpy was to ask you an uncomfortable question, they'd do it all day long. They'd put down their little gay Antifa masks, they'd pick up a fucking mic, and they'd ask you about Israel. They'd drive you insane. Just fucking shameful. You know, a lot of these people that are tweeting right now, that are doing these videos right now, that are commenting on Fuentes and this line of questioning and the people that are asking these questions, I've watched for years as they sold people a pile of shit about free speech and political openness and all of that. And here they are doing the exact opposite of that because it benefits them financially, because it's what they feel is safe at the moment. Running from refuge to refuge, trying to keep that spotlight off their own ass. Fucking pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic. I feel better. I vented a little. It's cathartic getting it out. Just saying it. Just watching it transpire, watching it happen. I don't know. I don't understand these people. I don't really think any of the questions that I heard them ask were really that offensive. Okay, so you love Israel. We get it, Kirk. But is them asking about the USS Liberty, is them asking about foreign aid to Israel really horrific? Is asking you about a demographic change and how that might influence the culture in the country, is that a terrible thing to ask? Is that something they shouldn't be allowed to ask? Because it's offensive? Is it racist just on its face to ask a question? Apparently, according to these people, it is. They're permissible questions, and then there are questions that you're not allowed to ask. When it comes to conservative values, when it comes to things that these people supposedly advocate for, question that. It may be a little weird talking about. Oh. Oh, did we go down there for a second? Oh shit! Oh boy! I think I might have. Okay, am I back? Saw OBS go a little crazy there for a second. Maybe did I ask the forbidden question? Did I discuss the no subject? Am I going to get spanked for it now? Oh, I hope not. But back to the point. These people that are advocating for conservative values, that are the conservatives out there talking about the American way of life, sure don't act like it. They throw a hissy fit when you question them. And they seem to be very bizarre. Okay, so they talked about ass fucking. It's still a fair question. How does anal sex promote conservative values? I mean, it may be a whimsical way of phrasing it, but it's a fair fucking question. Let me ask you this. How many conservatives do you think watch the Democratic primaries? How many people do you think watch Democratic politicians and laugh at how they respond to questions and laugh when they get offended by a question? You remember that little communist party, the Socialist Party? I think this was about 2 months ago, that had their own event. And how hypersensitive they were. They actually blocked the event off. They wouldn't let outsiders into the event. They had a fucking little hug circle because they were terrified of being asked questions, because they were terrified of a dissenting opinion. And the internet laughed at it. And I bet you these particular people, the Kirks and the Gorkas and the others, probably laughed at that. Oh, those silly Democrats, oh, those silly communists, oh, those silly socialists. Look how sensitive they are. Look how upset they are when somebody asks a question they don't like. Well, look at you now. You're doing the same fucking thing. You won't let this guy ask his shit. You won't even let him show up at the event. You had security take him away. Oh, that's some funny shit. You know, I'll tell you another observation I've had over the last week watching this sort of unfold before me. Gorka pulled in 500 people. And when people started laughing at him because he's a fucking buffoon, about 1,500. So another 1,000 showed up just to laugh at him. Nick Fuentes, on the other hand, when he streams on YouTube or on DLive, pulls in anywhere from what I've noticed of 5,000 to 10,000 people. Because people like his show. Because they enjoy it. There's a little bit of energy behind it. Oh, you don't like the politics? Well, it's appealing to somebody. Now, you want to wave him away. You better be careful exactly who you're shooing out the door. Because if he's pulling in that amount of people on his account, which, believe me, when you're talking about YouTube metrics and the appeal of a live stream, pulling into 5,000 to 10,000 people is pretty fucking impressive, especially on a channel that has, I think, 46,000 subscribers. He's pulling in 25% of his fucking audience. That's a high metric. Those are dedicated people that enjoy the fucking show. They seem a hell of a lot more dedicated than Gorka's audience, a guy who claims that he has 2 million people listening to him nationally and can't get more than 300 fucking likes on his videos. Who has to beg people on his radio breaks that he has every 3 minutes because he has to go take tinkles to subscribe to his fucking YouTube channel. But they don't. They don't subscribe. And they don't give you a thumbs up. And they don't retweet your shit because they're not connected. They don't care about that. These are old people. These are old people that are going to be dead soon. That's the people you're appealing to. I mean, that may be great in the short term. Maybe that'll get you through an election or two. What the fuck are you going to do in a decade or 20 years? Because if you shoo away the younger guys, who may be saying things that you don't like, but if you kick them out the door, the dedicated, energetic motherfuckers that are tuned in, that are enjoying themselves, if you throw them out, who the fuck's going to vote for your guys in 20 years? Because the audience you have now, the ones that the commercials for Metamucil and Life Alert and the pillows, the ones that those appeal to, they're going to be dead. Kirk, Gorka, they're going to be dead. And you'll have nobody to vote for you. Because all the young guys, who probably by that point will get so sick of your fucking shit, they'll go form their own goddamn party. I don't know how successful it'll be, but it'll be more successful than your fucking party. The party of dead people. Because dead people can't vote. Well, unless they're Democrats, then they can. But conservative dead people can't vote. That's just the way it works in America. So you might want to reconsider your fucking approach to politics. Because I think you might be doing more damage to yourself in the long term than you really fucking realize. And that's not to say that Nick Fuentes is some bright new leader. But people do pay attention to these things. And they see what you do. And they see how you act. And the shit that you advocate for. And they make a judgment. A split decision judgment about whether or not they'll ever back you when you have a problem later on down the line. Or whether they'll listen to you when it comes to politics later on down the line. It is a disastrous approach. It's fucking shameful and it's embarrassing. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Because you got Nick the Knife over there. And his little griper army. And they are just pulling a train on you fucks. They're making you do ridiculous shit. They're making you act like teenage girls. You're acting like teenage girls on fucking Tumblr right now. You're grown men. Seb Gorka is a grown man. He's like 60 years old, begging people for likes on YouTube. How do you reach that point in your life? What happened to you? You have 2 million people listening to you on the radio? and you spend 3 hours of your afternoon crying about a guy on YouTube, begging for you. He actually said he was at war with Nick Fuentes. That's verbatim. He is at war with Nick Fuentes, and the only way to win that war is getting YouTube likes. That's what he's telling people. You need to like my YouTube videos, otherwise Nick Fuentes is going to win. What? What the fuck? Well, all I can say is well done. Well done. I love watching people basically put themselves out there like this. And I love watching these so-called conservatives that love free speech and talk about how they're being bullied by big tech turn around and do the same shit. Believe me, people are watching. And they're not going to forget. And when it comes closer to 2020, when it's really close to the election, and you fucks are getting taken out, just like everybody else was a year ago, not a single fucking person's going to lift a finger. Not a single person is going to weep for your ass. I don't know, Chad. Maybe I'm out of touch. I'm on my way to Boomerville anyway. Maybe I should just go sip me a Monster Energy drink and sit down and talk about how much I love Israel while I listen to Seb Gorka tinkle himself every 3 fucking minutes. Now, I don't know how this is going to play out, but I can speculate. And based on how angry they are, one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to get embarrassed by how stupid they look and they're going to stop, which is a rare possibility. It's really an outside chance, but it might happen. Or, this is a more likely one, they're going to deplatform him. Or they're going to really try to. Now, maybe that starts on Twitter. Maybe they take that blue check mark away. Maybe they get him off the platform. But then it's going to move to YouTube. And it's going to move to wherever they can fucking make it happen. So just pay attention. Especially pay attention to the fuckers that are celebrating it. Because you might be shocked. You might be shocked by the ones that are out there really happy that this has happened or is happening to him. See the hypocrite for what they are. See the hustler for who he is. I know I don't have a moral high ground to really bitch too much. I mean, I am a grifter in my own right. I want you to buy my fucking hats. But the difference between me and them, the difference between my hats and Seb Gorka's Metamucil, is you can ask me about the USS Liberty. I don't give a fuck. Feel free to talk about the dancing Israelis, chat. I don't mind. Well, at the very least, we've gotten the angry portion over with. Now, like I had said earlier, I'll be doing the Finder stream later on this evening at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll continue our little adventure into the world of glow-in-the-darks and their basically counterintelligence ring that, accidentally turned into a child fucking cult based on the new FBI docs that have been released. I have somebody coming on who's working, researching on writing a book about it, who's going to talk about some more of the details that I was unaware of as we read the remaining 120 pages of the 340-page FBI report. So that is coming up this evening. I have not forgotten about it. But that is our Nick Fuentes stream. That is Nick versus the world, and he's really out there swinging. He's really out there swinging against people that love butt-loving and love Israel. They want to dress up in pretty dresses and have their thighs shaved off to make fake penises. He's going up against a real special group of people. An exceptional league of exceptional people. But that's the kind of show I like. I wish him the best. And I'm enjoying the implosions that are happening right now on social media from these people. And I'll enjoy them going forward. So I guess to really sum it up at the end of the stream, get fucked, Conservative Inc. You sell out two-faced fucks. When it happens to you, everybody's going to laugh. Everybody's going to laugh at you. And you fucking really deserve it. And nobody's going to feel bad, not even a little bit, about the bad shit that's coming your way. All right. So let me jump into the super chats. I got a few here, so I'll read through them. And then we'll close out the stream, and then I'll do my other stream later on this evening. You know what? Let me do this. Since they're so fucking dead set since they're so dead set on destroying him, let me see if I can pull something up here first. Sorry, chat, one moment. All right. If you want to follow Nick Fuentes on YouTube, it's America First with Nicholas J. Fuentes. Channel, I was wrong earlier when I said 46,000, sitting at 50,000 people right now. All those people are subscribing. I'm sure Seb Gorka is fucking pissing himself in a rage at the moment. All those anti-Semites talking about the USS Liberty. How could they talk? How could they subscribe to Nicholas Fuentes? Oh, I'm sure he's very upset about it. And if you're interested in following him on Twitter to watch him make them rage some more, that's at Nick J. Fuentes. That's Fuentes. So go pull up a front seat and watch as they shit themselves in a rage. Because that's what I've been doing now for the past 3-4 days. And I'm sure I'll be doing it for the next week or so. So let me get to the super chats here. And like I said, then we'll close it out. But thank you for everybody for showing up. I was going to say the funders. The finder stream will be later this evening. Put that up so now everybody knows. Majority of people, you can tune out when I do the super chat thing. From Conspiracy and Comics, check Oi Solstice, Tales of Barbic Fury on Indiegogo. It's my comic about rockstar bards in ancient Ireland. It even has hot waifus. Hashtag Sweetie Squad for life. From Foxman2248, Happy Halloween, Jim. Happy Halloween to you. Mario Carter 13, Israeli academics, please respond. Gorka. Yeah, well, I've never seen a grown man beg like that. I can't imagine if I had a radio show with 2 million people listening to me, do you think I'd give a fuck about YouTube? Wow. No, I'd be doing the radio show. I don't know why he's trying to be hip and cool and have a YouTube show too, and then begging people on a national audience to come listen to his fucking YouTube stream and stop the mean bullies. All these men dressed as frogs are giving me thumbs down. Please help me. From Truth Seeker, the Groiper Rebellion has only just begun. 9/11 was the coolest thing ever. What's your favorite video game soundtrack? Near, I guess I kind of like. There are a couple songs on that were pretty good. From Point Curation, Nick or Treat, Metokur's Lunicorn Archives. This is simultaneously the worst and best timeline. How is that possible? God works in mysterious ways. From Moderator Marcy, you gave us more than one stream this week, Jim. Very spooky. It is pretty spoopy. I agree. From Mandar, what the fuck is Gorka's stream? He shits every 5 minutes. That's not an exaggeration. If you watch Seb Gorka's stream, maybe he's got like a medical condition. I don't know what the story is. I don't know what kind of fucking business is run like that. But every 2 to 3 minutes, he goes on break. I would go insane if I were driving in my car listening to AM radio, and every 2 minutes he went to a commercial. I don't know how he retains an audience doing that. From Moderator Marcy, remember to make sure Jade is still locked in her cage. We don't want her to attack young children on Halloween and steal their candy. I'm the true brother. Jim, tell Jeffrey he's gay. Jeffrey, you are a gay man. From Ethereal, Happy Halloween, Jim. I'm ready to be spooked. From Timothy Reaper, with all the conspiracy theories that have been proven true, I'm starting to think that maybe the world is flat and run by Jew, lizard, alien hybrids. Well, maybe not the lizard alien part, but I think you might be onto something with the first one. From Evan Scholes, Gorka yelling at White House reporters was a bad look. Maybe Nick could give him lessons in optics. From Ender, press G for Groiper Uprising. Oh, there's a bit of a delay. You know what? I'll give you a second there. Chat, Ender wants you to press G for your Groiper Uprising. If you want to go for it, go for it. I'm going to light a cigarette here and turn the audio off over there. There we go. God, the delays. They're fucking with the YouTube live streaming thing, and the delays have gotten much worse for the default settings that I usually use over here. I don't know what the story is with that. But for some reason, they just can't. They're just shitting the service up for no reason. I don't understand it. From the memes of destruction. Roses are red, violets are blue. I like turtles. I hope you do too. Oh, what a poet. From Jason Weaver. Thanks, Jim. Christian Wall. Hey, Jim, a longtime fan. Take my schmeckles. Will do. 6-8 Toast. Press D for dancing Israelis. From Merc Gym Time. Happy Halloween. From Joan Arc. I'm a dirty, dirty boy. I bathe once a month by having Jade clean me. 9/11 was the coolest thing ever. Will you ever have a baby with Jade? How would you raise a baby in a cage? Out in a cornfield seems a little harsh. Servant of the ancients. Oh, great Prometheus Jim. What fire do you bring us mortals today? It's just watching fake conservatives shit themselves in a rage because some guy on the internet asked them something that made them upset. From Drew Durant. Hell yeah, keep up the amazing work. From the Lone Marauder. Hey Jim, did you know that Israel has some of the best dancers in the world? Don't believe me? Just Google dancing Israelis. Well, I'll do that. That one guy, 006, give us an extra spooky Halloween woo, Jim. From Leadmaster, Groypers rise up, look here, listen, look here. Groypers are the future, it's all ogre. From Purple Oblivion, when's the Gale Stream Metokur? We already did a Gale Stream, we did 2 of them. From Xenophage Uprising, Jim, have you seen the Ghost Stories dub? The dub company didn't care at all. They get away with so much, it's hilarious. Think you would like it. I believe I have seen that, and that was a Japanese anime that did poorly, so they didn't give a shit about the localization or the subtitling. They had a little bit of fun with it. Totally not dark matter. I live in Illinois, and it's snowing Halloween over. And nothing like 5 feet of snow when you're going to get your free candy. From Vincent James, we need more gay, black, trans, paraplegic Hispanics in the movement, Jim. Sebastian and Charlie will lead us to freedom. You just don't know. From White Male, Google dancing Israelis. Mario Kart 13, do Gorka's orcas come with Kraut's nipple clamps? Well, it's a limited time offer, but if you call in right now, yes, it does. Make sure if you ever get on Seb Gorka's show to ask him about Gorka's orcas and how many fat bitches he has in his stable of fat bitches. From Madden, hail our favorite Spick gamer, God bless Jim. Victor Phantasm, Jim, I hope Nick is safe in his trampoline house. I think I hear a barbell falling from the sky. From Joey Jojo, imagine getting blown the fuck out by a guy who looks like a dummy from Goosebumps. This dumpster fire has been funny. Nick the Knife is a cut above the others. From Lumberjack Cowboy, hell yeah, Google dancing Israelis. Sergeant Scotty, Israel has great dancers. Google dancing Israelis. From Manga P, shout out to the Comfy Zone, lose weight Phil. Clown World Order, Jim clearly turning Jew USA in boomer tier. Controlled op conservatism is the way forward. You've been noticing a lot, Goyam. Shouldn't you be getting sleepy about now? God, I am getting a bit tired. Maybe we should all just take a nap. From Earthworm Jim, Norwegian cringe Gen X knickers represent. From Sublin, Tips Menorah, Ma6 Gorillion. Extinction Rebellion, let's save the planet together, plant a tree. That'll do it. Just plant the one. Plant the one, take a jet to there. Yeah, get on a plane, fly out somewhere. You know, that's a couple thousand miles away. Plant a tree. You've done your work. God bless you. From Mark Skog, the Zoomer Tet offensive on millennials is going to be the most complete destruction carried at such speed, no one will realize it's happened. For posterity, if you want to shut someone down, just call them a troll, like all the leftists do, even though troll doesn't mean what they think it does. The Vodka Haze conservatives are more divided than Shia LaBeouf. You know, watching some of this play itself out, I'm struck by how much, with Shia, it took, I'd say, like 2 weeks for him to go crazy. Of people showing up at his event. Like, he was at a specific place at a specific time. Anybody could show up and fuck with him. And it took 2 weeks before he lost his shit and was screaming at people and chasing them. I don't think Kirk's even going to make it that long. The other funny parallel that I've noticed is with Gorka. I don't know how many of you remember Tom Green and his little call-in show. He tried to play along with it. He tried to do a little banter at the beginning. But after about 6 months of barrel rolls and mudkips, he lost his fucking shit. He hated taking calls from people. Drove him up a wall. And I don't think Gorka will make it that long either. From Ender. Today, Wanglin said, these people talking characters of shills. Mr. Zeke Blowenstein, play Half-Quake Trilogy. It's on Steam IS Propane. The Onion Control, have some shekels, Jim. Well, thank you. Bubblegum Gun, these conservatives are waking up. The Goyim no. From Nyla Moon, happy spooky scary skeleton today, Jim. Thanks for the streams. Well, you were welcome. From the Internet Scum, hey Jim, my friend Alexander Adams is here. He was the first groiper that grilled Charlie at CSU. He wants on. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to read this till now, but closing up the stream. Now, if you want to watch the continuing adventures of this, go check out Nick Fuentes. I'm sure they'll go over the highlight videos and have a good laugh. Or just enjoy them yourself. They've been shared all over Twitter. There's nothing more entertaining than watching these TPUSA guys freak out over a question. And they do it consistently. From Earthworm Jim, thanks for being a true bro, Jim. Us Gen Xers need to support our Zoomer brethren. Mario Kart 13, what did Epstein know about the USS Liberty? I don't know. That's a good question. Is there evidence on his pedophile island? I know people have gone to do some investigations. We had a few drones in the air. Maybe we've got to dig a little deeper. He had construction equipment on that island. Is it possible that Jeffrey Epstein has a missing piece of evidence that would be clear cut, hidden somewhere on his island? Maybe that's why they let him molest all those kids. From Rhett A7 Erd, very excited to see you on the kill stream later this week, Jimmy. Matt Fields, Daddy Groomer Boomer Jim Bobob. You seem to have got your shitposter spirit back. Many oy veys to come. Bubba killed Epstein. From Merc Nick, you ever been in a cockpit before? You ever seen a grown man naked? From SS Rockin' Stone. Nuclear University, I asked the Q at CSU, remember the Liberty. From Chimera, hey Jim, this stream is cheering me up, though through a tough time as I laugh at these morons. Thanks, Jim. You're very much welcome. From the Mind Corporation, can we get a hint into what the next episode of Furry Pandemonium will cover? Yes, dolphin fucking. You know, I am enjoying being able to put shit up on BitChute because they don't care. BitChute lets me post what I like and what I want. Now, I could be a dick about it, but I try not to push it to an insane level. So, you know, I got to hold back just a tiny bit, but I hope you like people fucking dolphins, because dolphin fucking's coming up. These people are degenerates, and I can finally show you what I mean when I say they're fucking degenerates. When I tell you trannies are crazy, I can show you them shaving their thigh meat off to make fake penises. When I tell you furries are degenerates, I can show you them and their dolphin porn. So that's what you have to look forward to. From Padre Speaks, Conservative Inc., a subsidiary of Jimco. We need a snappy 60-second clip, Jim. I'll jump right on that. From Sexy Legs, since I read Siege by James Mason, my mailman started looking at me funny. What do I do? How can you put your mailman at ease? Well, it is Halloween, so why don't you give him a belated Halloween celebration. The next time your mailman's coming up to your mailbox, pretend you're a ghost. Put a giant white sheet over yourself, hold your copy of Siege, and just run at him and scream. That'll put his mind at ease. He'll know that you're a cool guy. Oh, you like Halloween too? So do I. From Joey Jojo. So how about that Cardi B? I know, right? I love how it just... What was that? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? From the Mind Corporation, used to be part of TPUSA, but then I installed Temple OS and saw the truth. God bless Terry, my friend. From Son of Tiamat. Clearly, those people quoting him in context are just dirty smear merchants. Schmuckles. From HTRTU, it's about ethics and anal sex. Littlefinger Gillen. TPUSA grooms neocons. From Bubblegum Gun, gas the conservative degenerates. Julius Ebola. Gibbs Stronic. Can you call my friend Michael a Fumba Hushwa? I don't even know what the fuck that is. I'll try. Michael Gibbs Stronic wants me to tell you you're a Fumbi Hushwa. From Mike, notice the Israeli is filming from his pocket. From Rude Dude, ban assault questions. The narrator disappointed you don't know how great Metamucil is. From Colton Butler, my girlfriend is a Jew and the only thing I dislike about her is her swastika necklace hitting me in the eye when she's on top. Oh, wait. From The Internet Scum, Jimbo, my boy Alexander wants to go to talk about the CSU question he asked. You played his clip. Interested. Again, I'm just at the end of the stream. Sorry. From George's Journal, Turning Gay USA. Phoenix 96, wasn't the guy in the black hoodie behind the cops at Politicon stopping Nick from attending? A Jewish representative from the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs? It was posted on his Twitter. That would be too perfect. I don't know if that's true or not, but I hope it is. The Jewish representative from the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs personally had a role in stopping Nick Fuentes from asking about the USS Liberty. Oh, that's a headline. Oh my God, that's such a good headline. From the Mind Corporation, YouTube needs to stop with ads for gay beaches in Tel Aviv. You don't see pride in the Kang side of town. Black Israelites are the real Jews. From Ishak Zamani, Hunter mentioning BBC felt like the Sargon quote. From Oxyblaze, help me complete 46,000, I will give you 1,000. Complete what? I don't know what 46,000 is. The Mind Corporation, I watch both Hunter and Dice, quite remarkable. From Metakurist Murdochian Archiver, beware of things that glow in the dark, praised be Jim. Farmaster Flex, the best way to control the opposition is to lead it. Charlie Keckstein. Disgruntled Taco, it's all those goddamn knickers' faults. Very true. Shameful that Kirk said that. I can't believe he that's a minority. They're only 13% of the audience. From Disgruntled Taco. I'm sorry. From Henry Slash. Virgin Kirk, the Dirk versus the Chad Nick the Knife. The Italian Heretic. Hey, Jim, what's your opinion on the USS Liberty? I think it was a deliberate attack, the Italian Heretic. I think it was a deliberate attack to prevent Americans from witnessing an atrocity during wartime. I think they sunk that ship and attacked that ship because they knew they were in trouble if it got out. That's what I think. From Jay, Nick Fuentes and the Groypers is a great band name. Yes, it is. From Ronson, is it just me or are the things getting crazier out there? Yes, they are. From These Nuts, are you and Joe still good? I don't know who Joe is. From Winter Wolf, God be with you, Jim. You're Niger. Your Irish boys have a special place in God's hearts, be you baptized or not. Lucifer only claims Jews, Muslims, Anglicans, pagans, pedos, and the Welsh. Jews can't dance. Oh, you heard it here first. They're unable to dance, except for the 5 that were across the river on 9/11, apparently. From Duralex Sedlex, they're mad because Nick exposes them as a fake right global homo gatekeepers they've always been. Approved opposition knows the ice is cracking under their feet. From Groypex Jones, this is what Groyper rope means. Leo Convoys reviews, we literally have pedos and dog humpers on Twitter, and these goons are trying to get some random goon removed instead of the previously mentioned sickos. Amazing priorities. Ian and Co. have no testes. Yeah, it's pretty rich to watch I, Miles Chong especially. Try this shit. From Clifford Bates, Gorka has ties to Hungarian fascism, was criticized for it. Gorka himself was targeted for anti-Semitism by the left. I know, it's remarkable, isn't it? Oh, so he was called an anti-Semite, and here he is pulling the same shtick that was pulled on him. From Schmaltzy, I can't wait to see Charlie Kirk get rocked on Wednesday, November 13th at North Carolina State. See you there, Knickers. From Puppet Pal Clem, Sargon is cringing the energy right now. He's going to try and Kekistani the Groypers. Well, God help you, Groypers. From HDR to you, Gorka temporarily turned into Ghost from TCR, but without the cans. No, the difference between Ghost and Gorka is Ghost is actually entertaining. So it's impossible for Gorka to become Ghost. From Cole, when a ship gets attacked in the Middle East so hard you have to attack a 19-year-old kid and get him off the internet. From Groypex Jones, what people don't understand is that Groypers are 10 feet tall and 800 pounds of pure muscle. From Night of Mirrors, go off gang. From Sylphwave, everyone go to Gorka stream now and dislike it. From Bubblegum Gun, Alex Jones is a Jew shill discrediting Dan Smoot. From Nick Gers, what do you get when you cross a knife enthusiast with a turning point that abandons him and treats him like trash? I tell you what you get. You get what you fucking deserve. From Hyperion 9997, speech is free if you agree with us. Have some shekels. Xenofag Uprising, Tim Pool is bald. Bald, my eyes. From Gina Annunziato, I'm probably butchering that. I don't agree with Fuentes' views. I also don't get how these conservatives can't see they're becoming everything they've ever been against. I just find it annoying to watch people, especially at this point on the internet. Everybody knows the hammer's coming down. Everybody knows this shit's happening. You can't say what you want to say. You can't make a joke anymore. You can't really talk politics freely anymore. YouTube is strangling people. Facebook is strangling people. Twitter is strangling people. It's hard for people to monetize or run a business anymore. Like, the hammer is clearly coming down. And in the midst of all of that, to then try to use that same kit of tools that's been used against you and your group on somebody else is just unreal. From Marco Kalabik, Rise, Groypers. Rise, rise, rise. Played in the background. Remember when Alex Jones got caught watching tranny porn? Then he denied it live on air, saying it was an accident. Hilarious. From Marco Kalabik, rise, Groypers. Rise, rise, rise. From Rabbit Corn, and in reality, they, the left, will lose because of the same reasons they lost in 2016. Because the internet is whimsical at its best. From some guy, I always wondered what the next 5 years will bring to the internet and to free speech. You've talked about it now, but don't know offhand. What do you think about the internet and society, I guess, will be like in 2025? I truly believe they're going to push Real ID. I think that's going to be the next big thing. I don't know what the exact avenue into it's going to be, but I'm fairly certain that's where it's going. They'll probably try to sell it to people as a security thing or a way to protect your kids or a way to deal with problematic shit online. They're going to say, oh, you shouldn't be worried about it. What do you have to hide? Let's just, make it so if you want to create an account on social media or on a content producing website, you need to have a real ID, a universal ID that links to all other user IDs so people know who you are. Maybe they'll use the shit from the manifestos being posted on 8chan to try to push forward. Who knows? But I suspect with, maybe by 2030, at least in America, I can't speak for everywhere else, that Real ID is going to be the thing that's going to be pushed, and anonymity on the internet is going to be a distant memory, which is awful. But that's the dark future I see coming up. From Groypex Jones, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Dante the Lifting Capitalist, hey girl, it works. Hey, a girl at work wants to me, and she's hot, but she's an engineer. I turn down thoughts on the regular, but this is a no basic CA girl. What would you do, Jim? Well, I'd probably spell check that a little better. Okay, hey, a girl at work wants you. She's hot, but she's an engineer. Okay, she is an engineer or she's not an engineer? I don't know what you're asking me. If you're telling me you've got an attractive woman that's smart, which is like a zebra, or a unicorn, sorry. It's like a unicorn. If you found a unicorn, I don't know why you're not riding it to the rainbow. From Rabbitcorn, curious, Jim. I know you like Trump, but who else do you support? Well, I found Trump entertaining, especially the way he run and the reaction that he got, and I sure enjoyed them melting down to his victory. But he was not my preferred candidate. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for anybody, to be honest with you. My issue with Trump was he never addressed what I was most concerned about, which was about the abuse of powers that our intelligence community has. NSA and CIA and FBI. A lot of things that got signed in under Bush and Obama, from National Defense Authorization Acts to the Patriot Act, allowing all these companies to basically leave backdoors in their hardware and their software, black sites, and just a lot of terrible shit, really, that infringes on American freedoms. And that was the big issue. My dream ticket, if I had to pick two people to put together on a ticket, if I really had a dream ticket, would have been Ross Perot. Ross Perot, who would I run him with? Who would I run with Ross? Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'll just leave it there, I guess. But if you're asking out of all the available candidates who I like the best, yeah, well, Trump hands down. I thought the other ones were a fucking joke. Who are you going to vote for? Jeb Bush? Jeb Bush thought he should be president just because he came from a family that had presidents in it. He wasn't qualified for that job. I can't even remember half the names of the motherfuckers who were running. Who are people going to vote for? Hillary Clinton? Nobody liked her. Nobody on the conservative side liked Hillary Clinton. I don't think anybody on the fucking liberal side liked that lady. Nobody liked her. They all had different reasons for disliking her. But she fucking shot herself in the foot by doing the dirty, underhanded shit she did to her own party. The DNC completely rigged that shit against Sanders. Pulled a bunch of nefarious crap in the background. You think any of the Bernie voters wanted to put Hillary into the office? No. So, out of the selected field, yeah, I guess Trump would have been your best bet. But if I had my dream ticket, yeah, put fucking Ross Perot on there. He's dead now. He's not coming back. I just liked his gumption. He was an angry old man with a lot of money. I don't even know if this is a real tale or not, but it's always a story I've heard associated with Ross Perot. And this is one of the reasons I like him so goddamn much. He wanted to go on CNN to get the word out, basically. And CNN would not have him. And so the story goes, Ross Perot got so angry that he bought all the commercials for an entire hour on their fucking network to force them to put him onto the show that the commercials were around. I'm paying for it. Let me finish. I love the fact that he would have done something like that. Is that true or not? I have no idea. From Littlefinger Gillian. Littlefinger Gillian. Dead people do vote for Democrats, though. Xenofag Uprising. Gork no like 'em. Umkum's token about the realies. Name. Oh, I get it now. Charlie Kirk's big brain strategy to steal the lucrative dead people vote from the Democrats. 20-year plan. Gamergate 88. From the Anxietist. We want Nikki, no speaky. From RSS Slayer. I love how I'm not allowed to send relevant information because unknown keywords are banned. Stay safe, Jim. Watch out. From Talon Silverbane. When's the rest of Furry Pandemonium coming out? In the next month we'll have another episode of it. From Uner Same. Why do we spend so much money on Israel? The truth is we don't spend enough. We should spend more. From Hentai Lover. Day of the Pillow is coming for them and they don't even see it coming. It's probably because their eyesight's so bad from being so old. From Lurik L. Knickers no nicking. Knickers no nicking. Terry J. Can't wait for your return to the Ralph retort. And from Augie RFC. Seb Gorka saying Nick was an un-American pissed me off. What's an un-American about enjoying free speech? Asking people uncomfortable questions and questioning commonly held beliefs. Well said. Got a few more here. I'll read through those and then we'll close this up. Where did I leave off? There we go. Foxman2248. Hey, Jim, don't forget Streamlabs. You missed some yesterday. You know what? I will check that right now. All right. Give me a second here. If I missed one yesterday, I apologize. I will try to pull it up. Okay, what do we got? We got one from today and one from yesterday. From yesterday, Nidosphere fan. Hello, Goyim. I wanted to donate $30 to promote the Holocaust Orphans Fund. I get a 37% share of the proceeds, so donating $20 isn't such a big loss. So please accept these $10 for $5. And from Suspended Faith from today, Nick makes a cameo in Destiny's rant and admission to being white. Here's a clip. I know that Destiny and Nick have had some run-ins. Always entertaining. Destiny now is in the middle of his own fight. While Nick's dealing with this in TPUSA, Destiny is off dealing with all the communists on Twitch because he made an N-word joke, as they call it, privately, and that got leaked out, and now apparently all the communists are very angry at him, especially the young Turk Hassanam Obama. I don't even know what his fucking name is, but he's very, very upset about it, and has been chiding Destiny quite severely over it, as Destiny tries to figure out why the fuck he can't make a joke in private, and he needs to run his comedy by these fucking retards. The Bone Zone, excited to hear you're going on the kill stream again. From Sus, one of the furries from Foam Adventure is trans. Oh, what a shock. Who saw that coming? From Mayo Blaze, would you host a debate between Nick and Gorka? I doubt Gorka would ever agree to it, but I would love to. I'd just sit there laughing. Those two gentlemen can talk about whatever they like. From Billy Walker, have you read the manga Department of Corporate Slave Rabbits? No, but that's a great title, and I'll have to. There we go. Lurikel, Kingdom Hearts has the best OST, only Jews disagree. From Man Ranner 5, oy vey, shut it down. Brett Steffenfish, Jeb Bush just showed up at my house with a UNICEF box. Happy Halloween. From Badnup, I have some money. From Name, when those Israelis get to dancing, they really bring the house down. They really rock the boat, so to speak. From the Bone Zone, tips dreidel in a rather Jewish manner. From Dirty Harry, thoughts on Death Stranding. I have no idea if that game is going to be shit or not. It looks like a walking simulator. I know everybody, oh my god, it's Kojima. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. It looks kind of fucking boring to me. I don't know if I want to be a post-apocalyptic mailman. Maybe it'll be great, maybe it won't, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until people actually buy it and start playing it to see how angry people get. It'd be good, a good way of gauging what's going on with the quality of that particular title. From possibly the NSA, can the ending theme be Zardonic Pure Power? You know what? Sure, why not? From Airy32 Sovereign, defend Europe and European civilization. From Matthew Neidig, actually let me copy that too, so I don't forget. Zardonic Pure Power. how much scrutiny, if any, should be given to Fuentes and his supporters? If Kirk and co are going too far, what do you think is appropriate? I mean, if Kirk wants to say, go fuck yourself, fine. I mean, if Kirk wants to say, your question's fucking stupid, fine. If Kirk and them want to make jokes about Nick Fuentes and his followers, fine. But if you've reached the point where you're actively trying to deplatform somebody, you've lost the plot. That is too far. And especially when you're already under the gun from another group of people that want you deplatformed. You're just setting yourself up for a negative karma later on. It's going to come around back to you. I think it's a stupid fucking approach. Yeah, I get that he doesn't like the question. I get that he doesn't like interacting with them. I get that it makes him upset. Suck it the fuck up. Isn't this politics? I thought politics was about being a hard ass, having a thick skin, being able to deal with shit that made you uncomfortable. If you're involved in politics, if you're running for office, if you're part of a group or an organization or a think tank, you should have some fucking balls on you. If you're going to wilt up like that just because you get a couple of questions and some people poking at you, I don't know what to tell you. But if you've reached the point of trying to get rid of somebody like that, if you're not saying, hey, Sub Gorka, you're a fucking idiot, yeah, that's when you've gone too far. From Exploding Prinny, Jim, remember to Google Dancing Israelis on November 3rd. From Matthew Rumble, is it okay to be white? Have a spoopy Halloween. Well, of course it is. From Boss Vivo, happy Halloween, God bless. Raquel Conspiracy, Seattle will be 9/11 on Sunday, 11/3. From Jojo Bizad, I remember when Furry Pandemonium was planned in the early 2010s. Now it's 2019 and it's on BitChute, more degenerate than ever. From Fasted State, when's the next Transtastic Tales? Love the channel, Jim. I know. I was supposed to have it up today. It's like a drug. I'm sorry. You know, I've been watching this Nick shit and TPUSA stuff, and I can't look away. I like a good shitstorm. It just appeals to me on the most basic level. I can't fucking help myself. And this has been amazing to watch. It's one of the reasons why I did a little hour stream now. What you've seen, I put together an hour's worth talking about this just from 3 days. And it's not even that in-depth. There's so much shit going on with this. It's funny as fuck. It's funny watching these people target him and bitch about him. And then you scroll through their social media, you go back a couple months, you look at a video they released from half a year ago or a conference they were at 2 years ago, and they'd be decrying the very thing they're doing at the moment. It's just very bizarre. From Jesse Hansen, how is doing it with a dolphin even possible? Don't they have super sharp teeth and are made of muscle? Well, I don't know if they're trying to fuck them in the mouth. I guess I can't really go into great detail about dolphin fucking at the moment. We're still on YouTube. You'll have to wait for BitChute to find out. From Matthew Joseph, did you see the article written by Rob Smith, Gay Black Man, about the Army on Huffington Post? No, I didn't, but I guess I'll go check it out when I get some time. From Mighty Pingas, Irish Nippers, rise up. Power to the children of the diaspora. May we forever drink cheap whiskey until our livers give in. Protest. Charlie Johnson, don't walk, run. Productions in chat kvetching. From Jesse Hansen, Ian Miles Chong, I hate that mongoloid. And finally from Airy32 Sovereign, open borders for Israel. I'm sorry, I've got one more. Justin, Gorka and radio boomers take a break every 3 minutes for local stations to give news, weather, and traffic alerts. Also, where's Transtastic 2 video? Bullshit. They don't take breaks that much. I listen to AM radio. I don't know where Gorka's doing his show from, but I've never heard an AM show that takes a break literally every 3 minutes. I don't know. Does he have a pretend radio show? What network is that on? What AM station is carrying him? I have no idea. Stabby McStabwood, Ross Perot, Ron Paul. There we go. That was the other one. From Jimmy Fairplay. Hey, Jim, what is the legality of dumping someone's nudes for laughing my asses off purpose, asking for a friend? Well, you're probably going to get nailed for revenge porn. So be wary. From Wit. Yeah, Jim, can you call the Bucket Brigade Discord server a bunch of Fortnite and Minecraftian potato nibbers? Metokur, Mandorians, let the light shine. Bucket Brigade Discord? Or Brigade? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. You bucket fucks are a bunch of Fortnite and Minecraftian potato nibbers. There you go. From Bralo Corno. It's my birthday, longtime listener. Love the streams, man. Braulio Cornjo. I'm butchering your name, but happy birthday. Savrin Phoenix, Jeb 2020. Aaron 32, Sovereign, it's not okay to be white, it's great to be white. Garnuckle Blackburn, I love Nick, hope Seattle gets nuked. Knickers 2030. And finally, Derp Mug Apple Perry, can we get an F for Sargon's potato camera? Apparently, Sargon has a potato camera and somebody would like to give it an F. Very last one here for our Master Flex is in a choice between a traitor and an enemy. Always deck the traitor first. Conservatives been getting butt plowed for years. That's how Gainel ties in. Well, there you go. Now, somebody had asked for a specific song to play us out, Zardonic. So let me see if I can find that here. Where are we? I think this is it right here. All right, chat. There we go. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Again, the Finder stream will be later this evening at 8. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the shit show. I have a feeling it'll continue on for a little while. Who knows where to go? But I'm fairly certain these people are going to try to get him deplatformed. So pay attention and see who's doing it, because they're outing themselves as being hypocritical fucks at the moment. And per the super chat, we'll let Zardonic Pure Power play us out.